Hello and welcome to the Books Crypto Club weekly catch-up on Zoom. It's Sunday the 15th of May 2022 and today we are going to be talking about whatever. It's been a bit of a crazy week in the crypto world. There has been the interesting event with Terra and Luna and an algorithmically stabilized stablecoin that wasn't very stable and collapsed from a high of, I think it was $80 at one point, down to zero, and they stopped the blockchain and they're restarting it now and they're trying to recover. There's the situation with Coinbase where they've now included in the financial reports the fact that if they were to go bust, then they're actually the owner of the crypto, and therefore anybody making a claim against them would be a normal unsecured creditor, which actually is pretty similar to how it works with the banks. And most people don't realize that, which is why in the UK we've got the FSCS scheme, the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, to protect against the risk of a bank going under. The short answer to a lot of things like Coinbase and many others is the old crypto saying of not your keys, not your crypto. And so if you're going to trade on an exchange, always transfer your crypto onto your own storage and you keep the private keys. Don't leave it on an exchange and let them be the custodian of it. Other news that's going on this week, there's so much with Bitcoin going up and down. We'll take a look at the numbers afterwards, but I think it hit $28,000 at one point, may have gone a lot further south than that. I did mention on last week's show that it was probably a good time to move out of Bitcoin for now, and that proved to be quite prescient in a forecast. I don't make forecasts very often about future movements, but that one looked pretty obvious even to me. So let's see what we're going to end up talking about. It could be any of those things, could be none of those things. These sessions are open to everybody, novice and experts alike. So let's see who's going to come and join us today.
Oh, there you go. Hello.
Hey, Juan, we can hear you and see you.
Okay, perfect. How are you, Gary?
I'm good, thank you. What brings you along today?
Oh no, just to see what this was, kind of, just check it out.
Yeah.
More curiosity than anything.
Excellent, that's good. Well, these sessions are open to everybody. We never know how many people are going to show up. It might end up just being you and I having a chat, or it might be 8, 10 people, whatever. It varies every week, and that's why I record it and I publish it on YouTube, because quite often we end up talking about some quite interesting stuff, which can be useful either if you're a novice. I might try and explain some basic things. For the people who are more advanced, they sometimes get a little bit deep and technical, so it can be useful to watch the playback again. So what's your level of interest or experience?
Well, I have 2 crypto companies. I have Scandify and Tindify. One of them is cybersecurity aspects of the blockchain. So we help tokens and we help investors see that the different tokens are not scams. So we give them a percentage of fraud through an AI system. Okay. So we do also audits and everything like that. And then we have Tindify, which is basically a decentralized social media app where we basically, target the 4 main stakeholders: investors, venture capitals, blockchain projects, and influencers. Kind of all that. And we interact, make investors search and find different investment opportunities and, help them that way.
Cool. So here's a great opportunity for you to have a free shout out here. So what were the 2 companies and the websites, or how to contact you?
So Scandify.net and Tindify.net. So I can put them in the chat here.
Yeah, let's go for it. Because I'm always keen, my vision around the whole blockchain and crypto space, it's about growing the whole community and helping people become more aware of things. So, the more we have around these kind of things, the better. So what I'll actually do, let's we'll maybe pull up those a little bit later, but I'll certainly include those. I'll do a couple of screenshots or something later on for the recording, so that people can look at them. So we've got Scandify and 10DeFi, and both of them are .net.
Yes, exactly.
Which makes a change from where the vogue for a while was .com, and then it was .io and .net and everything. So that's good. Cool, excellent.
How are you, Gary?
I'm good. I'm keeping occupied, trying to keep up to speed with what's going on in the crypto world at the moment, or the real world for that matter, which is entertaining. So I see we've got Bill's just joined us as well. I think Bill's trying to figure out what's going on in the real world at the moment. How are you, Bill?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, just it's been a weird day. It's been raining all day, and then the sun comes out. What's going on?
Yeah, in England, funnily enough, Juan, Bill and I live probably within 30 miles of each other in the UK, and so the weather today was meant to be raining in the morning, sunny in the afternoon, raining in the evening. And being in England, it did exactly the opposite. So it just rained instead. So, but Bill, what are you keeping up to date with at the moment on the news or the crypto world? Anything exciting?
Well, nothing really new. Just the same old stuff, really. I mean, obviously, I've actually seen some people have an argument on my Facebook timeline about gold versus crypto and versus US dollar, which is interesting. And I was out when it was happening. So I've just come back to find that they've been discussing the merits of the US dollar versus the S&P 500 versus crypto versus gold. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, mainly just a bit of a cryptocurrency, a bit of gold and silver, and I'm also working on a health and nutrition company opportunity at the moment that has its own blockchain as well. So just keeping keeping busy really.
Okay, because it was interesting. I saw someone stick a note on one of the groups I'm in the other day to say, "Oh yeah, I'm just about to launch a crypto token based craft beer project, never been done before, blah 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 blah." And I sent a note back to say, "Oh, how does that compare to craft beer calling, which was launched in 2017 or 2019, I think it was?" So it seems we seem to be going through this phase again of people launching things with either coins or tokens attached to them again. So
yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously, I always look at the utility of the token. It's got to have something interesting and a good concept, really. And a lot of the stuff flying around, really, okay, might have some good technology, but it doesn't necessarily have the utility. Yeah.
Yep.
Because essentially, there's got to be making a difference, isn't it? Really, that's the bottom line. It's got to have something unique about it, and all too often it doesn't happen like that. But obviously I don't spend as much time analysing the crypto space as I would like. I've got too much going on to do that, and I find it incredibly hard to keep up. Yeah, incredibly hard.
So that's probably quite timely then, with Juan was saying about one of the projects he's got, or one of the companies, sorry, Scandify, which just pull it up there. In fact, I think, can you see that on the screen now?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Tell us more about it then, Fran. You're saying that it looks for scams and that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so right now it's not fully developed. I mean, we only started a couple months ago. We launched our token on, well, it was August 19th. Yeah. So what you see right here is the blacklist. So people in the community report different scams that they've been involved with or that they've heard of. So they just copy the contract and put it there, put their comments, see if for example, right now there is only one report for each, but some of them you can see that there is 20 or 30 reports for some tokens. So what we do is basically, if you really want to check that your investment or future investment is not a scam, what you do is search it first, see if it has any reports. And then afterwards, you can say, okay, well, it doesn't have any. It's maybe it has more chances that it's not a scam. Okay. Now, in the scanner, which is in development, we will be using an AI system. That's why it's taking a bit longer, because we have to feed the algorithm with different scams and different smart contracts. And what we do there is basically you put in the smart contract, so you put the address, and then afterwards it tells you where in the smart contract it's fraudulent or it could be fraudulent. So where it's basically, possible rug pull, they won't allow you to sell, they can put the commission up to more than 50%. Everything basically inside of the actual code of the smart contract. Okay. Then it will actually identify in social media, basically everywhere would just kind of compare holders with followers, with blah, blah, blah. You know, it just overall give you a grade or a percentage of, you know, if it's a scam or not, a part of having the education system and all that stuff.
Cool. Okay. So for Corby and Elena who've just joined us, we're just taking a look at Scandify.net, which Juan's been developing, and it's about looking at some of how to look at some smart contracts as to whether they're scams or not. Really interesting. So Corby, and I'm pretty sure you and I have had conversations about what we need to do to improve the credibility of the entire marketplace, and this kind of thing is definitely welcome. So talking welcome to Corby. This is the first time you've been on one of these calls, isn't it, Corby?
Yeah.
She's run away to get her latest curry recipe sorted out because she loves making curries. And Elena, how are you today?
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Elena's my favorite. She comes along each week and asks brilliant questions, which makes it more interesting. So yeah. Juan, thanks for that. It looks like really interesting then, because this is what the market needs in terms of like building up credibility in that. So you're saying that this is Scandify.net, so that's looking at the smart contracts that the tokens are associated with. The other one that you're talking about, what was that?
It's TinDefi.net.
So let's...
No, TIN DeFi.
Put the links in the chat if possible. So
yeah, he's done that already.
Okay.
And what we can do as well is I'll make sure that they're covered in the recording of this.
Can I ask a question just quickly before you go into your detail, Gary? So how do you rank them? That's just through the feedback from the people reporting these? Is that right?
So on the list is just basically by the newest. So you know the latest scam. You know it's not worth having a scam that has so much. I know a Squid Game. You know, right now it's so popular, but it's over. There's no point of having it there.
Right. What I was trying to work out is that when a user submits their report, just saying this is a scam, there's obviously different levels of scam, yeah, and some will be quite weak in the way they put together, others got more impact. So I'm just wondering how you assess them really, or how you flag them up, yeah.
Yeah, so the user itself, when it reports, it can say the owner's been involved in a scam before, they're trying to impersonate someone, you know, they have some options, and then obviously afterwards we kind of check them out as well, see what is wrong now manually, but eventually in a few months, I think it's Q3 that we will actually release the scanner fully functional. So then you would have already that, you know, straightforward through any scam, right? Or any token, not scam, because we can't guarantee that it's 100%, you know.
There's different lots around. You're going to be very busy. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But I know Gary through Facebook. You probably see the same drivel that's coming through. There's all these new things paying out 3% a day, which are basically like crypto arbing at the moment. It seems to be the big new thing. And to me, I mean, it's obvious to me these are scams because of the amount of money they're paying out. You know, it's crazy stuff. So I think it will be very popular because people don't have a central depository to go to, and all they've got is the regulators in the UK who are quite weak-kneed, aren't they, Gary? They don't do a great deal. Yeah. So I think at least we'll have somewhere to go and check it out as a first sort of search, really, because if it was on there, it will have a flag on it straight away, won't it? Yeah. So,
Juan, where are you actually based then?
So right now I'm based in the south of France, in Toulouse, but I moved around a lot. You know, I'm Spanish myself, but you know, I've lived in Poland, lived in England as well. I'm going to London in June, July, business-wise. So you know, I move around wherever the wind takes me.
Well, at least you've got an Airbus factory just down the road, so you can always hop on an aeroplane. That's good. Well, that's great. So you told us about the first product. Now we've got TinDefi, which is around, it says decentralized social media. What's the story behind this? What's this doing? Okay,
so the problem that we're trying to solve here is the fact that for crypto users, you know, you have 9 apps. I would say 9 apps in order to get information, check the blockchain, buy in the exchange, talk to the community and the group and owners. And then afterwards, maybe other social media to find these investments, at least possible investments. Instagram, Twitter, Discord, you have YouTube as well, Twitch, all these apps that are not native itself for crypto.
Mhm.
So you can find them, and if you follow the right people, you'll find them pretty easily. But for people that don't know who these influencers are, who these people that are giving these opportunities are, they can never find these things apart from, specializing everything in one app. So what we have is we have a chat system that with the blockchain included. So in the actual chat, what you would have is you can buy and sell directly from the group. You're in the, I don't know, Scandify group, right? We're going to put that as a example. So imagine someone just said a very big news. So what you do is you obviously want to buy because it's a good news, right? So if what you do is you buy inside of it and you don't waste time from going from, I know, Telegram, let's just say, to Binance, to KuCoin, to whatever exchange you're using. There's a time difference there. And if you're slower, well, you might miss out on the best opportunity to buy. Okay. So it's actually attacking this immediacy of really getting a big investment and, better opportunities. Apart from being able to chat one-to-one with other people. And inside of the chat, because, sending right now different tokens, it's very hard. Well, not hard, but you have to copy, paste, you have to check that the address is correct, so you don't send it to someone else.
Yep.
So right here, obviously it's decentralized, so you log in with your wallet. So when you log in with your wallet, you obviously, your user has that wallet, apart from maybe secondary or tertiary wallets inside as well. But because it already has a wallet designed, when you send TIN, the token, through the chat, it's immediate. You just send it and it's done. You don't have to verify that that person is that. Obviously, if you've been chatting and you know that person maybe personally, then it's obviously not a scam. So there's always verifications with Scandify for people, for projects, venture capitals, everything. So you're always kind of safe.
So you kind of linking together. It's almost like an RSS feed or a newsreader or whatever, and you're pulling that in, and then you're automatically linking that downstream to the exchange or the payment provider or whatever. Is that right?
Yeah, at first, yes. And then afterwards, when we get bigger, we'll actually have our own exchange where we have all these small, medium, and big projects inside as well. Okay. What we try to achieve here is give everyone the opportunity to buy these micro caps, very small caps that, they give you 1000x, they give you a lot of, percentage. And right now you really have to be geeky in order to really get these opportunities. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of bringing the whole community together and focusing on what matters, good projects, projects that give value to people instead of, just memes. We'll try to do that in the app, but obviously we're not restricting anyone.
Okay, cool. Well, that's really interesting. That's something for people to go take a look at both those products. Mm-hmm. Where are both of them up to in terms of being production ready then? Yeah, so TinDeFi, the newest one, we launched actually on the 1st of May. So we've been 15 days out right now. We already got 1 million funding from the ICO. In terms of that we're doing fine. The second round is closing soon for 1,800,000. Then the app will be ready around September, so in 3 and 5 months. So in terms of that, it's quite developed. I would say
in terms of design wise is 90% done, and development, it's a bit lacking there because you need to first have the design in order to develop the inside and the blockchain inside of the app.
Okay.
And Scandify kind of more or less the same. We've been longer in the market, but in terms of development, we'll be releasing, the main function in around the same time, September, October.
Okay. So definitely a couple for people to watch out for then, because they're going to be great additions in terms of people becoming more aware simply of what's going on in the world. Great. Thanks so much for sharing all that, and hopefully that'll be of use and interest to people. That's good. I just want to keep the conversation flowing. Corby, I see you've joined us on camera now. How's it going, Corby?
Right, good, thank you. Good afternoon. How are you all?
Yeah, good.
I was just thinking of something that one said there. I came across a company called Social Blocks. I don't know if you have one, but it might be worth looking up. It's spelled social and then BLOX. And they were doing something about social media, taking it to the next level, and integrating that, enabled by blockchain technology. So there might be some synergies there for you and your business. They're based in Germany, I believe.
Yeah, it's something. It's always amazing just how many others are doing similar but different things. And I've had several conversations this week with a cybersecurity project I'm involved in, and just discovering other companies. Oh yeah, you're doing this, and we're doing this, and you're doing this, and it's lovely seeing the whole ecosystem growing and being part of it. So that's good. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So since we spoke, 2.5 years ago, and it's interesting what you were saying, how things move on. I started off, as you know, I'm a conference producer. That's really my core competency, and I worked on a number of large exhibitions and events pretty much all around the world in the tech sector, more so IoT, which then took me on a journey into blockchain. Just fascinated to learn anything about emerging tech. But 2 years ago when we spoke, I was very much interested in blockchain in the enterprise space. And now here's me in 2022 running a networking club in the NFT space. So, just shows once you sort of get entrenched, that all these, the ecosystem, all these sort of spokes, how they feed off of the people that you meet, how these conversations develop. So I'm just sort of going with the flow at the moment and seeing where that's taken me, but it's a really exciting time at the moment.
That's good. There's no escape from crypto once you're into it. It's a bit like Hotel California. You can check out, but you can't actually leave.
But it's really nice because you bump in, I bump into you quite regular. So it's good to see some really, trusted old faces there. And then obviously the new people coming through as well. And for example, with my group, I'm not an NFT expert by any stretch of the imagination, but we're sort of laying track down as we go. And I've got a really nice mix of creators, investors, what I would call classic blockchainers who are probably in the enterprise space. And we're all throwing our sort of heads together, and it's great hearing about what's moving and what's growing.
So what's everyone's particular interest this week in the blockchain or crypto world? So and I've seen that the WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups going crazy about all sorts of things.
Exactly, with all the news. So I'll start it off with the word of crypto winter. And I suppose that's when I was quite new to the blockchain space in 2017, 2018. And at the time, I was writing a strategy paper for an event I won't mention now because we're on air. But anyway, the organisers at the time were saying, we don't think we should be going into this space. And I just sort of was doing a desk research. And at the time, the crypto winter was just happening. We were about to go into it. And it was like, well, if we do it, we'll just stick with enterprise. We won't go down we'll do a blockchain event, but it will just be enterprise led and not the crypto community. And I flew out to Malta to see the AIBC show and came back saying, oh my God, we've so definitely got to do crypto with it as well, So I think you're right. There's cycles, there's dips. You've obviously weathered a few more storms than I have. You can't help when you see a few headlines to think, right, well, what's actually going on?
It's funny. Charles Hoskinson did a video the other day. Yeah. So he's the founder of Cardano and has got something of a heritage in the crypto space before. And his line was basically, look, this happens. It's been going on loads of times. You've been in this space long enough. You'll get used to it, kind of thing. And it's something on LinkedIn, Facebook, and a few other things I've been saying this week as well. look, this is nothing new. The volatility, yeah, crypto's a volatile world. The collapse of a currency or of a crypto token, yeah, been there, done that, seen that. The collapse of something you thought was totally credible. Well, that happened with Mt. Gox originally, which was meant to be a credible exchange. This stuff kind of goes on. It's nothing I see that new.
So are you looking at your piggy bank and buying on a dip?
Well, the other thing is people don't fully realize what the market really is. And so they start coming out with terms like crypto winter as though we're all in the same place. And when people were talking about crypto winter, crypto was exploding in South America, and it was really gaining pace out there. And then subsequently in 2018, early 2019, they were talking about, oh, there's a dip. And it's always, it's fundamentally when people talk about crypto winter, what they mean is Bitcoin's gone down in price.
Yes.
That's fundamentally
it's a nice acronym. It's a nice marketing term.
Yeah,
but journalists love it, don't they?
Yeah, but the whole thing was that Bitcoin was going down in price 2018, 2019. Meanwhile, South Korea, crypto was exploding. So crypto adoption in Korea now, or South Korea, massive. You look at it in the Philippines, Vietnam, it's all growing in Asia. So it's a little bit, funnily enough, it is like the seasons. It might be winter here, but that just means it's summer somewhere else. And so it's worth bearing in mind when people are talking about things like crypto winter and how bad it is, it's probably pretty good somewhere else. Probably not.
I've just Googled that term because I haven't used it for so long. And actually, TechCrunch 3 days ago, Bloomberg 5 days ago. It's interesting, isn't it? You're absolutely right. People pick up on a strap line, but they've all used it in the last couple of days. So it's obviously
it's all mainstream media as well.
Yeah.
It's all that they're using it to confirm a narrative. Along with the crypto is for drug dealers and money launderers. And yet every time you read a report where they've done research into it, the number one product for money laundering, and this is not financial criminal advice or whatever, the US dollar is the best thing you can use. I think Bill, you and I have chatted about that.
It's interesting though, because I actually started my journey on Bitcoin before the crypto winter 17. In fact, I go back to 13, 14 when I bought my first Bitcoin, but I didn't realize the importance back then. So I could have had 5 Bitcoin to my hand, and I haven't got them anymore. Those 5 anyway. But I know we started doing, the company I was with them, which was a precious metals company, added Bitcoin mining to the mix in November 16. And at the time, we were using Genesis Mining, I'm sure, from Germany. And now I think they've actually gone on the Canadian Stock Exchange, listed there. But they were estimating that the price of Bitcoin would be $1,000 by the end of 2017. Of course, it went up almost 19K. And then the market just crashed. I mean, straight down really. But it was a very that's my first real encounter with Bitcoin as a way of making money. Because really, when you look at it without all that, it's really just digital gold, isn't it? Because you only make money when it goes up and you sell it. But these days, there's a lot more going on in the space regarding trading it and stuff, things like that, just like with the FX market, really. But fundamentally, that's where my education started.
So Bill, you can obviously offer a perspective on this, because I know that you're into the physical precious metals space and various other trading there. I've always argued that there is no correlation between crypto and anything else. So crypto and gold, I think, are uncorrelated. Crypto and shares, uncorrelated. Crypto and dollar, uncorrelated. But what's your perspective at a macro level? Are we seeing the whole thing of crypto and gold being a safe haven and that kind of thing, or are they still divergent?
I think gold has traditionally been money, and it's always been a safe haven. There's plenty of history there for that. So you've got the old guard, if you like, who are obviously very loyal to that perspective. And I'm not one of those, but I do have gold because I see the sense in it. The trouble is, we've got to consider why people are buying what they're buying. Yeah, they're buying it because it's going up most of the time. And the same with gold, but the gold is obviously heavily influenced by the futures market, and it's not allowed to roam freely, really. The crypto market is heavily volatile, and fundamentally, people really don't understand what they're getting into most of the time. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think the way to answer your question. I don't really know if I have the answer, to be honest. All I know is that I know the gold and silver, and I believe that the technology coming through on the crypto side will be of use to us in the future. The trouble is, people are getting very emotional about things in terms of they're talking about, is it really money? Is it an investment? Is it the technology? I think there's people that are technologists, like some of us here are, who understand and like the technology, but the majority of people I speak to are here because it's going up.
Yep.
And they see it as a wealth creation tool, yeah, particularly because they're worried about their jobs, their careers, and things like that, and the thought of missing out, really. But they don't truly understand how volatile it can be, and they really do not understand the technology. They're there because it makes money, yeah,
Yep.
and that's a driver of intent, and that's where I see it coming from. But my immediate circle of people in crypto are not technologists. They are entrepreneurs, or
Yep.
they are looking for a way to increase their wealth and retire early. Yeah, and that's okay, but it does mean that the sentiment behind it is different.
Yep.
So when you see what happened in 2017, when the price, when JP Morgan, he said it wouldn't last. He kept saying it and saying it and saying it, and eventually he was right. And of course, that put a lot of people off. So they all sold off. It went right down to 3K, didn't it? Yeah. And the market was very bearish. But unfortunately, I don't think my network is potentially relevant in terms of what your discussion is, because you're talking about something different in a way, aren't you?
Well, in some ways, it's kind of interesting because I think there's a lot of amazing things happening in the blockchain and crypto world, which are not having an impact on the prices. And I don't think they should do. And this is, I know that Stefan Tual, who was involved in a few interesting crypto projects a few years ago, Vitalik Buterin has said the same, that you shouldn't associate the price of the cryptocurrency with the achievements it's having. And this is why I find it funny. You get some of these crypto experts who say, oh, yeah, this new crypto coin's coming out. Read the white paper, look at the vision, look at the team, blah, 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 blah. It's like, it doesn't work like that. Now, if the utility or capability of a token or a cryptocurrency directly affected its price, then Ethereum would be worth 10 times what Bitcoin is worth. Because Bitcoin is a means of value transfer and not much else.
But that might down to lack of understanding, though, wouldn't it? Because not everyone coming in is going to do proper due diligence and analytics to understand what they're doing. They're doing it because they see it going up. Unfortunately, there are people out there like that, and they've got the money to obviously take the risk. But you're quite right. There's a very big difference between Bitcoin technology and Ethereum, and the way smart contracts work. But for Bitcoin, for most people, is the one they understand, because that's the one they make down the pub tunnel about. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, if we're going in to do proper analysis, you discover obviously a bit more with Ethereum, but a lot of people are treating it as a stock market.
Yep.
They are doing that due diligence or finding something unique about a particular token or coin, and they're buying for that reason. This isn't a bad idea, but it means the sentiment behind their decision is different to the person next door, isn't it?
Which is where I think some concepts that have come from the stock market and the foreign exchange market, things like trading signals and looking at charts and doing technical analysis, I believe that all of that works in the crypto world because that's what everyone else is doing. And I've said this for a long time now. In the stock market world, you do the traditional thing, you do the fundamental analysis. What is this company about? Is it in a sector that's improving? Is it an opportunity? and then you'd use technical analysis to work out a good time to buy or sell the share. In the crypto world, fundamental analysis is irrelevant because it doesn't affect things anyway. The fundamental value of Bitcoin is zero. And by that, what I mean is if the Bitcoin network shut down tomorrow and you hold one Bitcoin, you can't redeem it for a server somewhere in China or something and then go and sell as hardware. So the fundamentals behind crypto are not the same as the fundamentals that we know in terms of stock markets and companies. But technical analysis works because everyone else is using the same signals to spot what everyone else is doing. And so this is why I love it when they keep talking about things like, oh, the 200-day moving average has crossed the 50-day moving average, and that means that. Well, no, but both those are averages based on the past. So all they're doing is that it's a very nice signal of what's already happened. It's not a signal of what's going to happen. But if everyone watching it thinks, oh, when you get a golden cross or whatever it is, that's a buy signal, and they think everyone else thinks it's a buy signal, then it's a buy signal. And this is what I find funny. Well, I don't know, JT, I see you joined us. You've probably got a view on this as well in terms of separating technology from crypto prices.
Well, I'm out, yeah. So I'm a bit quiet at the moment. I'm in Dubai.
All right, Corby, I'm going to quickly ask you a question then on the conference space because someone was asking earlier on today. Ireland has got the Blockchain Ireland Week coming up very soon. Right. Is there any big blockchain conferences in Europe that you're aware of at the moment?
Most definitely. Well, we've just had the one in Croatia, which actually is coming to a close at the moment. And oh my God, we're already in May. I can't believe it. There's quite a lot going on, actually.
Yeah, I know there's Consensus next month in Texas, isn't there?
Yeah. And that's the new location for them. But I mean, there's a hell of a lot going on in this space. You've got to remember for sort of 18 months during the pandemic, there were no conferences happening at all, a few virtual things happening. So now there's an absolute flurry of activity and almost every week. I mean, I cannot keep up because clearly I like to keep abreast of what's going on. So you've had, we've just come out of Paris Blockchain Week, New York FinTech Week, Blockchain Live. We got Payments Canada Summit, and there's a lot of convergence now between, before we used to have sort of blockchain, crypto, fintechs, money 2020. Now they're all sort of joining forces. And even like next week, you've got AIM, the insurance summit that's taking place, the alternative investment summit. And again, that's got a lot of what I would call DeFi, crypto happening on that agenda. So it's very interesting to see how these events that were classically one vertical are now
merging,
converging, and you can't, you've got to have the conversation. I mean, I've recently doing a little bit of work slightly off blockchain space in the insurance sector, and I can see that creeping in already, just through Bank of England, FCA, etc. But there's quite a lot coming up. Decentral, Austin, that's your big event. Obviously, that sits with Consensus in June. That's June the 7th onwards. I'd like to get out to that. That one's by Coindesk, as you know, so it's quite a comprehensive show. And then there's, oh my God, I've got a huge list here. I've just looked at it while I was chatting to you. And you've got every player in the space now. You've got even Financial Times doing things in the crypto space. Reuters have always dabbled a little bit, but they're even using, Payments Summit Europe, etc. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, meanwhile, George in Dubai is running something. I think it's practically every week at the moment. If you look at the amount of things he's announcing.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Even like with my group, I started it off really because I had a friend in LA in the sort of creative sector who just said, look, you're quite connected. Can you connect me to a few people? And now suddenly, there's 4 main anchors are London, Dubai, LA, New York, and obviously Europe, aspects of Europe, but they're definitely the 4 global anchors that I'm noticing.
I think it's interesting. I don't know if any of you saw the news about Portugal, but Portugal's been rapidly growing due to its because of its tax treatment around crypto. And now
Yeah.
they've just announced that they're probably going to start taxing crypto.
Ah, okay, didn't see that bit. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they've got a great community anyway, and I always sort of associate because of the Atlantic coast with the surfers. It's very great sort of lifestyle. I know they've been attractive to a lot of young tech entrepreneurs, and there's quite a few tech events that take place in Lisbon, and I think that's attracting an entrepreneurial group. So yeah.
I'll see what happens then. Okay,
Be
it's
careful-
always go for
Be
it,
careful
JC.
when you say Portugal taxing crypto, because there's a court ruling from 2014. So government can't just go and start to tax. There's a precedent there. Yeah.
Okay.
So it might be something around taxing companies, a profitability in crypto, something like that, But if you just have crypto and you have gains on crypto, whatever it is, as a trader, investor, that ruling from 2014 still has a lot to say, So depends. I'm not saying they're not going, Gary, but I think it's not going to be in the context that many people are thinking. So I think it's still okay if you're holding crypto to go there.
I think it's definitely worth watching just to see if any developments come out from
I
that.
agree.
So
I agree.
Sorry, I see Adam's rejoined us. Adam, have you managed to connect okay this time? And it's all gone quiet again. Right. Yeah, sorry, the reason I was mentioning Portugal is that you sometimes get these things where you get places, as Corby was saying, you get hubs in effect, like London, New York, this kind of thing. And Porto and Lisbon were definitely growing as crypto hubs because similarly to Dubai, the tax treatment around things. And so it's going to be worth seeing how that unfolds over the next few weeks and months. Because the report I read today was talking about beginning to tax crypto as a form of income, which means that goes beyond just corporation taxes. JT was rightly mentioning. So we'll see anyway.
Can you send that to me, Gary, please? Because I haven't seen that one.
I'll see if I can dig out the article later on. Yeah, I'll ping it over in some way.
Just on the back of that, there was a press release. I think it was this week or last week. Which came out of the Queen's speech, about crypto. It was a bit confusing, but I got the impression it was really aimed at scammers using Bitcoin or crypto to steal from people, as opposed to crypto, generally speaking. Yeah.
So it depends who you spoke to as to how you interpreted it. There's two pieces of legislation being worked on at the moment, which the thing for those who aren't from the UK. The Queen's speech is an annual event whereby normally the Queen, or this year it's Prince Charles, state what the government's policy for the forthcoming year is. And they normally list out, I think it's about 20 different bills that are coming through. So a bill is a piece of legislation that goes through Parliament, waves through the parliamentary process a few times, becomes an act of Parliament, and then it becomes law. And each year, one of the bills is always the financial services bill, if I remember correctly. So there's one for each year that outlines what they're doing for the forthcoming year. And I think that, plus another piece of legislation, was talking about explicitly around things like crypto assets. And the people who are supportive of it are saying, oh, this is great. It means that the government's announcing the introduction of appropriate regulation around crypto. That's fantastic. That's what we need. The libertarians are saying, oh no, this means the government's trying to control crypto. So it really depends on which side of the fence you're at.
I mean, just to come back on that, because I've read a few articles, and the majority had the same line. There was one that I can't remember the name of, a slightly different approach, because they didn't think it was clear cut. And they kind of led me to believe that it wasn't going forth Monty regulate the whole industry. It was saying, right, there are people using it to defraud people, basically, and that's the bit they want to tackle.
So they're saying they want to move out the dirty money. That's the phrase from the UK, and that this is all in reaction to the terrible situation in Ukraine.
But it's
aimed very much at the Russian.
But it's funny as well, worth talking about dirty money in that, because if you take a look at Transparency Task Force that's now set up, which is an independent group looking at fraud in the wider context, not crypto, but just general fraud. You look at the fines that banks pay each year in money laundering fines, and what you realize, because I remember going to one of the Transparency Task Force events, and they said, oh, well, we're going to make things more transparent about how much companies are paying in fines, because that's a good way of reducing this whole problem. And I said, well, no, it doesn't work that way. The very fact that the governments are receiving so much in fines from this activity means that they see it as a revenue channel. So why would they want to cut back? So this whole thing about money laundering and all this kind of thing, you know,
It's a path.
Exactly.
I think it goes further than that, though, Guy. I think it's very difficult to expect people to follow the line when the banks don't follow the line. Yeah, and clearly abuse the system they're supposed to be following, and then they get fined and so on and so on. But they carry on doing.
Well, all the financial companies have, for the past 15 years, put that as a part of their operational model. So it's to expect, it is in their budget, expect X number of fines worth of X. It's there, actually, you know. So
it's a cost of business.
Of course, they treat it like that.
JT's dropped out again.
Someone was listening.
You don't say the same about them. They are scams as well, you know. So we need to be very careful how they are trying to sort of put some tags around crypto, you know, that everything is a scam and this, and we need to regulate. But, you know, they don't go further on that. People in crypto, people in crypto go quicker to jail than any of the bankers that have been laundering money for the past 25 years through London. And that's a fact, you know, for doing quite a lot less. Actually,
I don't doubt that, and obviously they have obviously smaller pockets and probably less confidence to defend themselves. But I think this is more aimed at naughty people using crypto as a way of defrauding people, as opposed to having a big knock on the whole crypto industry. Yeah.
I think this is where it comes back to. It depends on how you choose to interpret it. I think there are good things and there are not so good things. It's like everything, really. And it's, again, in the UK, we're getting a bit bipolar right now, because you've got the likes of senior politicians like Rishi Sunak saying, oh, you know, we're going to create the UK as the crypto capital and encourage businesses to come to the UK, which is kind of funny, because Rishi Sunak is the Chancellor of the Exchequer, which also means he's in charge of HMRC, the tax raising authority, who are saying, oh, we're going to use more powers to take more tax off people who make money out of crypto. So you kind of see it both ways.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we have to separate two things on this, yeah? What is a Ponzi, yeah, which is absolutely illegal, and it's a crime, and it's and scams, which is something different, and the Ponzi is a type of scam, yeah? But there is, I would say, probably 90.
He's dropped off again. So, Cram, that's probably a good opportunity to bring you back in, because JT was talking about scams there. What's your thinking about this overall market?
It's very hard for governments to do something about anything in crypto, in terms of, if it's decentralized, if you don't put your name in anything, they can't tax you.
And the mechanics, yeah, of all of these. Yeah, and that's the problem. Yeah, 90% of the projects or more that I've seen, and they're being tagged as scams, but they're not scams. It's as simple as that.
I was going to pick up on that actually earlier on. So Cram was showing us the site that they've set up and that they're developing, so looking at scams now. And one of the things is that people report scams. How do you actually validate that what's being reported is true? Because it's a little bit like TrustAdvisor getting 1 star or a bad review or something.
And it's all experimental. And it's all experimental. Let's not forget that as well.
Yeah, what we do is then look at the actual smart contract itself, and then see if inside of the code there is some malicious intent. So you can really see how they phrase things in order to leave like a gap between, you know, kind of a gray area where they can actually put in new things. So what we look at is that, they renounced the contract. They can't touch anything. If they can, well, they can change it at any moment. They can put in, put out, it's basically very possible that it's a scam.
Yep.
Or not, it depends on the project, depends on people, but if it's like that, you have more chances.
Okay.
And that's why a good auditor is essential, and actually on your website to actually publish the audit report and who the auditor was. Yeah, exactly because of those things. So you are absolutely right.
Exactly.
It's going to be interesting because for those of us who've been in this space long enough, we've all seen these cycles, and what we're now seeing with NFTs and with DeFi is a repeat of the ICO craze of 2017, 2018. And again, it's the whole scams going on. And then the whole thing that sometimes it's not a scam, it's not a Ponzi, it's just a good team who haven't thoroughly tested something, or it's a team who haven't quite thought through that there are people who know how to manipulate markets. And in some ways that might be part of the thing behind Terra. So, the thing that was in the news this week, Luna, and the not very stable coin matched against Terra, and the whole thing around that there's conversations going on about, is that someone intentionally did something within the Terra community to exploit something, or was it someone from the traditional financial world who looked closely enough and worked out that they could rattle a few cages, depeg the crypto, and cause the collapse that we saw happen?
From my perspective, Gary, it's very simple. This one, actually,
Yep.
The architecture was flawed. Okay, as simple as that. I've been saying this for quite some time to everyone, and I didn't even buy $1 of Luna. Yeah, it was flawed, and there's plenty of people that understand technology that warned about this. And I've been warning about DAI as well. It's an algorithm stable, so yes, 150%. You have to put more, but still possible to do an attack. Yeah.
Yep.
So I just thought, from my perspective, I just think that they thought very poorly about that such mechanism would work. Yeah, just based on volatility of crypto. They never considered if crypto crashed completely and it went the other way down, really badly, that someone could have a lot of liquidity, and actually, for me, was an opportunity to make money. Somebody saw a big opportunity. They did it, and it looks like they took $900 million in the middle of destroying Luna. It's as simple as that. It was an opportunity, like it happens in traditional markets. If someone sees a gap and sees an opportunity, yeah, they're gonna pursue that trade and execute it flawlessly and take the money. It's now, who was that? And that's a good question, Gary. Could be traditional finance, or could be someone that had I don't know, something to prove to these guys. I don't know, to be truly honest. And I don't think we'll ever know, to be honest.
I'll tell you one that's worth looking at, actually. And I pushed this, I think possibly in Corby's group earlier on today. So it's a company called Applied Blockchain, and the founder of it's Adi Benari, who I think he and I actually entered the crypto space similar kind of times. And he's taken it to the next level. Brilliant company, do some great stuff. And they did an analysis back in, I think it was February, around the whole Terra ecosystem and Luna and the algorithms behind it and everything like that. And they did a really good review. And I think back in February, they said, this is going to end up in a world of pain. But that wasn't the words they used, but effectively that. And it proved absolutely spot on. So again, I'll try and share a link in the group with at least the LinkedIn post, which then goes to the article. I started reading it earlier. They did a great write-up about how the Luna platform works, how Terra works, how they're connected, and why it would be problematic at some point. So yeah, so again, it's as you say, JT. Sometimes it's like the background to a company and how they've constructed something really needs looking at closely. Good point. Elena, I'm conscious you've been very quiet this evening. Have you got any wonderful, simple questions for us this evening?
No. I've been following the flow of the conversation and enjoying it very much. So I only have a small question to Corby today. Corby, you mentioned earlier that could you please share some more details about your NFT networking club?
Sure, absolutely. So it's when I first launched it, I was encouraged to do it on Discord, but I have to say to you, Discord drives me absolutely crazy. There's just too much going on, there's too much noise. I'm a bit old-fashioned and sort of core business person. I know the people that I was inviting to the group are just as busy as we all are. And I suppose really slightly biased on my part, I have Apple Mac, so I have WhatsApp on my desktop. In fact, I was just looking for the link, Gary, that you posted earlier. So I just literally invited a few friends to that group. So I've got a mixture of creators, entrepreneurs, investors. Very happy for you to link in with me on LinkedIn, and I'll share the link with you, and you can join the group.
Thank you. I'd love that. Thank you.
And really what I'm trying to do is keep it to quality rather than quantity. So the people I've got on there are good people. We've all got something to say. We're all learning from one another, and it's a great sort of sharing space. And I intend to do a little cocktail party in the summer and potentially an event in September. And then obviously, you know, because I have my own business house, I bolt that on with other friends that I'm collaborating with in the space, and take my crew to their events kind of things, and, you know, spread the love, really. That's what it's all about, and spread the knowledge. So yeah, I'd love you to come and join
That's very
us.
interesting as well.
Thank you very much.
Sign me in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I've just popped for information while we're talking there. There's the LinkedIn article that Addy pushed out earlier on. Well worth reading the stuff behind it. It's really fascinating. And endorsing. Go on.
Sorry, he's an incredibly smart man. He spoke at, I invited him to speak at one of the conferences I was on last year, actually, on energy sector. So his knowledge across the board of enterprise and crypto is really amazing.
Yeah, they're one of the few companies who've actually implemented stuff as well. So yeah, they've done some great stuff with a number of well-known names that don't particularly promote the fact that they're delving in the blockchain space. Yeah. And they've done some cool thing. Yeah, and he's a great guy, and they've done some great research. So the link's in there anyway for people who want to go check it out. And endorsing Colby's point as well about the whole, well, NFT community, DeFi community, blockchain, everything like that. I think we're all very supportive of encouraging each other's networks and growing them and extending them and that. So anything we can do to cross-promote things, which is like, you know, Colby allows me to mention this event on her channel, and I'm happy to promote in return.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's nice. I mean, you know, like a colleague of mine always says, you know, that's Web3, that's the essence of Web3. And I like that, you know, the fact that we are and I think, you know, also it's such a new industry. We are really well, you're definitely the early adopter. I'm the sort of late early adopter, but, you know, we are early adopters. So there's plenty of information to spread and share.
Yeah, and after what Colby said earlier about some of us being the old brigade, I have now applied the youth filter on this Zoom call.
It's all right, I'm in that bracket with you, Gary, don't worry.
Absolutely. Right, we've only got a couple of minutes left because I like to close this off on time. So I just wanted to ask if anyone's got any last minute things that they'd like to share, any news, information, any immediate questions or anything. All gone quiet because we've covered a whole bunch of stuff there, really. You know, we started off, Fran, thanks for joining us today. And for those who weren't on earlier on, really interesting to hear what's going on with Scandify.net and TinDefi. Was it TinDefi.net?
TinDefi.net, yeah.
Yep.
I think really that what's going on is people observing Luna, you know, and what Binance is going to do, and all of those guys. I think has a big impact, going forward. Whatever's going to happen to Luna, you know, it's quite important, in my opinion, to see what's going to happen.
Because Binance activated Luna and USDT on Friday, I think it was.
They have 1.3 trillion of it.
USDT or UST?
UST, sorry. Yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
They reactivated Luna. They have 1.3 trillion apparently of Luna. you know, so obviously, you know, they are in it for trading, but I think it's deeper than that, you know. And I said to several people, whatever you think about it, you know, there's going to be an opportunity for trade. So just be careful, be very, very careful, you know.
Yeah.
This could be the last. This could be the last attempt of drain liquidity for people, basically. You know?
Yeah. Well, I've been watching it with interest, and I've noticed that once they relaunched it again, it did go up quite considerably. But it's something I do urge caution for those who've heard the phrase "dead cat bounce."
Yeah, I actually see that said that there's a post from CZ that is saying that cat bounce, you know. But I know a guy who made 78x from it, you know, and he got out, and he's so happy. Nearly $1 million that he made.
There you go.
I was amazing, you know.
I'll close this with, this is not financial advice.
Of course, yes, not a financial. Just be very, very careful. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and as I keep emphasizing to people as well, do accept that in crypto you can lose all your money. And by that, I mean, you really can lose all your money. This is not just a big...
You know, it's a bit like, you know, you've got to be prepared to lose it, haven't you? It's a bit like being at a roulette wheel or whatever, or, you know, if you're taking a punt, you've got to be prepared to lose it.
Exactly.
Or make it.
A good thing to close on anyway. So great. Thank you, everyone, for coming along today. It's been really interesting. Hope everyone watching this enjoys it as well. See you all next week. Have a great one. Bye for now.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, do click on the link to subscribe. Do like the video, make comments. Even better, come along to a future session. We hold these every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK British Summer Time. The joining link to join is in the comments below, and it's open to everybody, novice and experts alike. We end up talking about whatever, really. Quite an interesting space. There's lots going on in the crypto world, and this is all about educating, informing, and helping people to learn from each other and with each other. So I hope to see you on a future call. Bye for now.